Welcome to Broken Prism Reviews, episode 16. Today we have Ghost Hunter. Possession is 9/10 of the lore. Mwahaha. First, I'm going to show you just setting it up. So you'll deal 3 cards face down to each player. Then you'll deal them 5 cards for their hand. You're going to look at your hand and choose 2 cards to go face up, making your exit row. Here's the Spectre. Anything can be played on this card. We'll get to those later, though. I mean, this is really, just look at this art. It's really inviting, really well done, thematically all together. The dark blues, the whites, just a beautiful game. So some games are numbered, some have infinity, and we'll get to all of that in a second. So, here I'm going to pick my card to play face up there. The Spectre, anything can be played on top of it, and then 9. Who knows? If you're playing numerically, you may never get to 9, or if someone starts at 9, they're just being a jerk. Other player will do the same thing. We're just going to kind of out of focus show you that really quick. So then the table's set up. We're going to get into the first round. You see both our hands out there to the right of our cards, the exit row. It's called the exit run. So, on a turn, you'll play 1 card from your hand face down, for example, a 3. This causes the next player to play another card that is numerically the same or higher. They're going to play the same. This is advantageous because I'm going to play a 3, and then I get to take that stack because it's 3 of the same cards. And that is a jackpot right there. You get points for the stacks, for the cards in your stacks, but we'll get to that here in a second. I just want to show you that. I've got the stack to the side of my collected cards and then my hand. So here are all the special cards that do things. You can read what they say there. Crowd Demon. Put the stack and one of your exit cards into your hand and capture this card. You want to do that because that card's worth 10 points. All of these special cards are worth 10 points. They have the infinity. Anything can be played on this card. That's a great card. Vortex, capture the stack. So if it's getting pretty big, you drop one of those to take the whole thing. Doppelganger, treat this as the same card you're playing it on. White. You may play this card on any time to block a capture, which is a good defense mechanism. Shade. The next card must be a 5 or lower. That's a good trick. Possession. You may swap 1 card from your hand with any exit card. And Poltergeist. Put the stack in the opponent's hand and capture this card. That's a good move. Sorry, I just had that laying around. Today I'm looking at Ghost Hunter from Fancy Squid Games. It's a pretty awesome deal, as you saw in the early half of the video here. The artwork's all really thematic and really well done together. I like how all the text is in the center, so you can be looking at your card and read what it says. And all the names are there too, so you could be looking at the Banshee card, or you could be looking at the white card. They don't know if it's the card you're looking at has an ability or not. Nearly half of them do. As I showed you in the video before, there's quite a few different cool abilities you can use to change the way it plays, because otherwise it kind of plays as Uno, where one person plays a card, then the next person plays a card in numerical sequential order going up. There's no going back down in the number order, but it's got some cool capture features like we saw. So like when you have a run of cards, so if someone plays a 1, then you play a 3, then they play a 4. If you play a 5, you get that whole stack. And the whole point is to get as many cards captured as possible. If they play a 1, you play a 3, they play a 4, and all you have are like a 2 and a 3 and another 1, you can't complete that stack, so you have to pick up all those cards and put them back in your hand, which isn't good because you're playing until you're all out of cards, which is a great end game scenario. But then there's that extra step. So as you draw cards from the draw pile, you'll eventually deplete those. Once that's depleted, you can start taking from your exit row, which is thematically pretty cool because the whole idea is you're going through this house, looking up these ghosts, trying to capture them. Once you've captured all the ghosts in the house, which is the deck, you got to exit the house. So you got to go through card by card as your draw step. And you can draw them in any order because you can choose to go through any room in the house on your way out and try to play those in an effort to capture them as opposed to having to take them in your hand at the end of the game. Player wins, of course, by points. So all the numbered cards are just a point. So that's 3 points there, even though it's 4, 4, and 7. These infinity cards are worth 10 points, which is pretty great. So you want to play these events, these special cards, although they do things like put the stack in an opponent's hand and capture this card. So you got a stack going, you play this on top of it, the stack goes into their hand, but you get the 10 points. They've got to deal with the fact they have too many cards and need to play while you're getting to draw because you don't have that many cards in your hand and getting to thin out the draw deck while they're burdened by all these cards in their hands. But they may have already had a 5 or whatever, and they can then play 3 of a kind. So the 2 ways to capture, again, are a run, which is like 2, 3, 4. So a run of 3 cards, or a set of 3 cards. So if you have a 4, 4, and 4, play that. That's the way you capture a deck. Pretty outstanding game. I mean, the artwork, like I was saying, is pretty well brought together. Pretty thematic throughout. The black and blue, some hints of purple. It says it's a 2 to 7 players, age 12 and up. Game takes 10 to 30 minutes, and that's what I found. You know, like you know, it's not a very heavy game. It's easy to pick up and play. It's Uno with a trick-taking aspect of it instead of just a hand management, get rid of all my cards aspect. So I like that. I like it quite a bit. Ghost Hunters is on Kickstarter now. Be sure to check it out over there. And when it's done, look for it over at the Game Crafter. Yeah, so Fancy Squid Games. This is their first title. They're working on maybe doing a family of hunter games. So this is Ghost Hunter. He mentioned in his video on Kickstarter maybe doing a Vampire Hunter, which would have additional rules and then also be potentially cross-playable. So this is one to back. It's got a low funding goal because this game is dead simple and it's already ready. His artist has been paid. His rulebook is solid. Just back it. You'll be getting a pretty fun game for yourself. It's family-friendly ghost hunting fun. So thanks again for watching Broken Prism Reviews, part of the Geekcast Network. That's geekcastnetwork.com. Check out other podcasts. Check out some bloggers over at Game Huntress, at allusgeeks.com, at Two Bald Geeks, and so on. Thank you very much.